Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and today we have a fun one. We're actually going to compare between HP percentage as well as defense percentage, which is better for sustainability for our characters in Honkai Star Rail. Now the first things first, some of you might be wondering, why are we even considering HP percentage and defense percentage? Because characters like Pailu obviously benefit from HP percentage, characters like Japat obviously benefit from defense percentage. Now I know that, and that aside, I think like characters that scale off a particular stat, of course you want to go for that particular main stat, but I think for other characters that are a little bit more neutral, for example maybe Tingyun or as well as Esta, who get attacked a lot for some reason, but we also want to make them a bit more survivable because their HP is just so low, and if they keep getting like one-shotted in battle, they won't even be able to buff anyone as well. So in this video, what we are going to be doing is I'm going to be using Tingyun as a perfect test example, taking a few hits, switching between HP percentage set as well as defense percentage set to see which is actually better for her as well. Now the test subject, of course, unfortunately will be her, but what we are doing is we're going to just switch up basically the relics that we have. As you can see, I left the gloves, which is attack main stat, as well as the link rope, which usually will be energy restoration rate, just to remove any like uncertainty, and of course last but not least the boots, which tends to be speed more often than not. So I'm going to just remove this tree and leave the tree that made a difference. So I know this is HP and it's like kind of unfair to defense percentage, but it's unrealistic to like take away the HP of the flat stat here because we can't avoid it as well. So I'm just going to put it in just to make it a bit more neutral as possible. As you can see, there's only like 19 defense. I think it's okay for now. The rest of them have a bit more of a variance, like the HP percentage or defense percentage will throw off the numbers a little bit more. So this is like the HP build I have so far. I will be using a 11 plus 11 HP percentage planisphere, as well as my chest here. As you can see, is HP percentage. I have it at plus 15 with about 3 rolls of defense percentage. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be first testing this HP, and then I'll be switching over to the defense set, which we will notice later on is more or less exactly the same. I'm just switching up the planisphere as well as the chest to just see what's the damage ratio as well. So a very simple test. Now let me get the test subject into formation first. Okay, a very simple test. I'm just going to test to see how much damage she's taking based on this build, and we will switch to the defense percentage, and then we will do some calculations and my thoughts and analysis as well. So I'm going to go ahead and like smack one of them. So we can see that she gets a collective total of like 341 from each of them. All of them is the same amount. So you multiply that by 4, that's something like, I don't know, 1,364 amounts of total damage that is taken. Now let's switch real quick over to the defense set and see what's the difference exactly. So as mentioned, I'm just switching this plus 11 here for a very similar one that's exactly plus 11 as well. So I get just the main stat change. Note that as you can see here, HP percentage is always slightly lower than defense percentage on the main stat. But it can't be helped. This is just how it is in terms of the ratios for Honkai Star Rail. Same for the chest. Here you see a 43% HP. And I'm going to be switching to this, which here the defense, of course, higher here as well. So we're switching to here, which is 54% defense on this one. And these are my stats right now. Her HP dropped by about 1,000. Defense, I can't really remember. I will just put it up on screen as I'm editing the video. I'll be calculating that number as well. Now let's go ahead and check out the difference. See how much damage she actually takes now. So as we can see, she actually took, instead of 341 damage, now she's taking 241, which is a whole 100 damage less as well. So if you multiply that up by 4, you will get probably somewhere around, I think, 964, which is much less than, I think, the 1,300 plus as well. So now let me get out of this screen real quick, and we will enter this character screen where we will do some calculations as well. So I think in totality, the best way to look at this is what we want to do is take the total amount of HP divided by the total amount of damage taken. Let me just enter this screen so she doesn't start talking, for example. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to take the total amount of damage taken from the defense setup divided by the total number of HP that she has. That is the amount of damage that we take. So that is comparable apple to apple from the defense setup as well as the HP setup as well. And based on like our calculations from the HP setup, like these are the numbers that she took the damage that she took from the monsters in the HP setup. Let me just switch this screen real quick to the HP numbers. Okay, and this is the HP setup here. As you can see, she has about 3.8k HP. We're going to put this total number on the denominator, as this is like just the HP setup. We're going to put it on the denominator, and in the numerator, what we're going to do is we're going to put the total number of damage taken for the HP setup, and then we will get a nice percentage here, which now we can compare this percentage together with the defense percentage as well. So after running the numbers, we can actually see that roughly both of them are about 35% of the total amount of HP the character has based on the respective build as well. Now, I'm not saying that this is an absolute thing, because there are some other nuances and variances that can be evolved. For example, damage reduction hasn't been applied to these characters yet. If we add in a damage reduction on top of that, the numbers might be very different as well. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and set the character with, for example, a light cone that has maybe this day 1 of my new life, so we can see this 8% damage reduction. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be actually using the relic set here, which is the HP setup. So we saw a 341 damage number, and we're just going to see real quick. So right now, if we will assume, for example, because March 7 has the light cone here, day 1 of my new life, 8% decrease means we are actually going to take the number 341, which we saw previously, multiplied by this 8%, but we're going to just multiply by 0.92, which factors in this damage decrease as well. Let's see whether it works out to this formula, or maybe there's a different calculation as well, and we will see that by a very quick test here. We're going to just smack, and of course, they always will attack Tingyun when there's 2 characters on the field, so I think we will get it first time success. It makes no sense that they didn't even want to attack Tingyun at all, because normally they always hit Tingyun regardless, even if you have a shield up. So it's just for this demo that they seem to want to look like they are doing it properly as well. The number was indeed 314, which is 313.72. This is the number if you took 341 times 0.92 and rounded it up to the nearest number. I think I can come to a very good conclusion as well. Long story short, if you have 2 different builds, the HP and defense ones, and you're thinking of which one to go for them, you will want to go for a HP build if you have a lot of damage reduction in your roster. For example, maybe you're using day 1 of my new life, maybe you're using Fire MC in your team. In that case, a HP build likely will matter more, because when you multiply that damage reduction on top of the total damage that you're taken, the HP build naturally you'll be taking more damage, the defense build you'll be taking less absolute damage, which means the multiplier of the for example, the 8% multiplied by the bigger number, you actually get a greater absolute damage reduction when you are in your HP build with not so much defense. So that is like one thing to consider as well. Another thing to consider, and I'm adding this in post-production, so hope you don't mind the sound difference, I want to give more of a balanced view. When defense build will actually outperform is if you have a huge chunk of your HP coming from your shielder. So if you have like Jett giving you a very thick shield and increasing your effective HP, defense build will outperform because you actually reduce the amount of damage that you take, in a sense making that shield that's given to you much more effective as well. So that is just weighing the two and giving you a complete view of which one is better as well. For those of us who don't have a damage reduction, we are not running with damage reduction in the overall kit, our character doesn't scale off HP or defense, I think it doesn't matter as much in that case, so you don't have to worry about min-maxing. You can focus on the substats. If you have a very good like substats defense piece, as we saw in this video, the detriment is not that high, but net like overall in terms of versatility of all characters, I think HP percentage likely will outperform because several characters might heal off of their max HP. For example, like example is this set here, the Guard of Wuthering Snow scales off a character's max HP, but not many gear scales off with the character's max defense as well. So regardless of what, this is just a very quick test for a better understanding, and if you like such content and you appreciate Tingyun being here taking damage for us to learn, do like and subscribe for more such future content as well. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.